And this is a little tribute and thanks for a patron that wrote a song, and then we'll discuss it here in a moment.
Hey everybody, my name is Zeke. I'm back with another original. This song I'm really excited to bring you guys. It's one that means a lot to me. I've been thinking about doing something like this for a while now, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. I think I was driving home from work the other day. Something came across my phone, and it kind of sparked or fueled the fire, so to speak. There's a lot going on in this country and in this world, whether it's a shooting or some sort of attack, there's just a lot going on. And it seems like every time you turn on the news, every time you get a notification on your phone, it's just something horrible. And the reason we get to do what we do is because of those that protect and serve, because of our men and women in the armed forces, because of our boys in blue, the ones that wear the badge. They're the sole reason that we have, the freedom that we do and that we live in the country that we do. And they mean a lot to me, and they should mean a lot to everybody. And again, I don't think they get the recognition they deserve. And I wanted to write a song, something tailored around that topic. So I came up with this one. It's called Cold Beer Salute, and I hope you guys get it. If there's any veterans out there, any men and women in the armed forces, police force, this one's for you. We thank you guys for everything that we do, and we're forever grateful for everything. So again, it's called Cold Beer Salute. Hope you guys like it. Bitching about that 9 to 5 I work, 'cause when the weekend rolls around I get to kick it in the dirt. I'm out here making them blue collar dollars in the land of the free, and it's all because I want to protect you and me. So raise them up and lift them up high for the ones risking their lives, and all of y'all fighting that fight so we can go down on Friday night. We get to do what we do because of the proud and the few. So here's to you, a cold beer salute. If you ask me what I thought and what a hero meant to me, they ain't the ones on television or the cover of a magazine. They're the ones facing that fire and toting them guns around. Backs against the wall, they stand tall when the shit goes down. So raise them up and lift them up high for the ones risking their lives, and all of y'all fighting that fight so we can go down on Friday nights. We get to do what we do because of the proud and the few. So here's to you, a cold beer salute. Lift them up high for the ones risking their lives, and all of y'all fighting that fight so we can throw down on a Friday night. We get to do what we do because of the proud and the few. So here's to you, this one's for you, a cold beer salute. was. Hope you guys liked it. Again, thanks to everybody that has served or who is serving in our armed forces, our police force, anyone behind the badge, EMTs, first responders, firefighters. You guys are the true heroes, the true MVPs. So thank you all very much.
And now, straight from the Law-Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listened to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Oh, yeah. Everybody getting fired up. Got a great episode for you guys. Thanks for being here live. That's right. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the Big MM, the motorcycle majority, also known as the
99%.
That is right. Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By listening and watching this very show, you are what we call part of the biker revolution. No way out of it. You're part of it. That's right. Lurch just has one question for you real quick before we get started.
What are you waiting for? Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
That's right. Bikeaholics, Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law-Abiding Biker Podcast and your
high-tech redneck.
We are live YouTube. Got a great episode coming up for you guys. Lurch in the house on the sofa. Real quick, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
Dump.
There you go. That's Lurch for you. I know it's been a while. It's been a minute since Lurch has been on the mic. We're going to discuss that opening song real quick. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. If you want to get part of the live experience, this will come out in podcast format later, as all of our live stuff does. It always also hits our podcast format at a later time, though. You get to see it way before everybody else. lawabidingbiker.com/live. That's our live page. You'll sign up for the free email club right there on the upper right-hand corner of that page. The only emails you'll get by signing up for that live list is when we go live. You'll get an email before, and it'll have a button on it that says push, and you'll push it, and all of a sudden you'll be viewing and listening live. I make it that easy for you. So get signed up, lawabidingbiker.com/live. Make sure you're subscribed via YouTube, because that's what we're using, YouTube Live. You'll also get a notification on your phone or whatever device you're using that we're going live. So there you go, guys. Lurch.
Yes.
And I had quite a day. Actually, you know what? Before we move on, to keep things in order, let's talk real quick and give appropriate credit. Do you want to do that about our opening song that y'all got to listen to there?
Yeah, so that comes from a gentleman named Zeke Blake. He is a patron. He's been a patron since, I think, towards the beginning of this year. And as you guys know, we do these podcasts in batches, and sometimes certain stories take priority, and this has been on our to-do list for a while, and we're just getting around to it. He is the lead singer of a country band called Zane Run, and he's been a very involved patron. He's in the Facebook commenting, and as you heard that song, he wrote a song in tribute to law enforcement, military, and I guess firefighters too. He said that in there. I guess we can include them.
Oh, we can include. I know there's. We love our firefighters. We got to bust their balls, right?
You know, they got the team guns, team hoses thing going on. Anyways, he's what is he? He's originally from Richmond, Ohio, and currently living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think he's got a normal 9 to 5 like we do, and he does this country thing on the side. And man, he's good. I like his music. It's got a little bit of a, to me, anyways, it's got some old school roots into it, but it's more of a more contemporary, modern type of country sound. Good singer, as you heard there. That was unplugged, just him and a guitar on Facebook. And
he did that in our private Facebook, patron only.
Yeah,
that's some of the stuff that goes on in there. We have a real close relationship with our patrons. Not only have we met many because they're patrons as we go on our rides around the country. We're going to Canada next year. We're going to meet some of our patrons up there, but we communicate directly with them in that patron Facebook group, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Zeke Blake, the band is Zane Run. He's a huge supporter of Law Abiding Biker Media. If you like his music, we encourage you to head over. Show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode this number is. When it comes out in podcast format, I'll have the show notes. I'll have links to his iTunes stuff. And he's a fellow biker, guys. He's a fellow patron. He's a fellow law-abiding biker and a singer. And we like to support each other, guys. So he's not paying us for any of this. I just thought it was really cool that was an unplugged song. That hasn't even been officially recorded. He came up with that. He did it unplugged in front of his video camera on a stool in his garage and put it out only for the patron members. And it happened back August 5th. I'm just now getting around to it because we've had so much on the schedule. But he put it out in that private Facebook group and just unplugged. And I asked him for permission because I thought it was so cool that I wanted to get it out and support him for doing that. And he gave me full permission to release that song. Nobody else really has ever even heard that besides our patron members. And now the world's heard it. Anybody who's listening to the podcast or Law Abiding Biker, which is a huge audience, of course. And so, yeah, I thought that was just freaking awesome that we were able to release that for him. And he does have other music on iTunes. Zane Run is the band. Thank you very much. Let's listen. He also has been very involved and left us a voicemail back in the day. I forget exactly when this was.
This is back in April, shortly, I think.
March, right there.
Was it March? Okay.
I think.
Yeah, it was either before or it might have been just before or just after he became a patron, but it's around that time.
All right. Yeah. Good. Let's listen.
Gentlemen of LAB, or should I say my saving grace. Man, my name is Zeke Blake. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I want to thank you for your podcast, your amazing, quality, awesome podcast. I am a avid Harley rider and enthusiast. I'm on my third bike right now. I'm currently riding a 2010 Street Glide. Thanks to you and your podcast and your videos, I've done quite a few modifications to my bike on my own. I've been able to save money and also have the pride of doing it myself. Again, I want to say you're my saving grace. I'm a pharmaceutical representative out of Pittsburgh. I travel all the way to Fairmont, West Virginia. Many days I'm in the car for more than 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So I have long rides, long time in the car. I've listened to iTunes, Spotify. I think I've heard every song that's ever been put out on the radio in the last 30 years. I'm in a band myself, and I gotta say, I am sick of music. I've listened to everything in the car. I came across your podcast on one of your YouTube videos. I started listening to it, and in 2 weeks, I've listened to every podcast. I've heard probably everyone at least once. A couple of them I've listened to twice. I love it. Keep the great content. Keep the videos. You guys are awesome. I'll be becoming a patron this week. I can't wait to donate. I can't wait to hear more. I wish you had an episode every day. I love it. Thank you guys very much. Ride safe. God bless. Thank you all very much.
That is the kind of community we're building here at Law Abiding Biker Media, and everybody that's live in the chat room now, you're part of that community. We'd love to have you as patrons, of course. I popped some links in the live thing there. But that is awesome to hear, and that is exactly why we've been going strong, almost a little over 3 years, all coming up on 3 years. We couldn't do it without you guys and the support, and to get feedback like that, to know that we're doing the right thing and that it's appreciated and you guys out there appreciate it, means a lot to us. He's the real deal, Zeke Blake. We're looking at a Facebook picture here. It looks like he's got a black Street Glide, badass, blacked out. It's got chrome motor and everything. And then I honestly don't know if he's married or not, or if that's his wife or girlfriend, but she looks like she's running a Sportster in the background there. And that's his Facebook page. And again, thanks, Zeke Blake, for that. Anything else about that, buddy?
No. You've already mentioned all the links to his Facebook and iTunes. Right. All that stuff will be in the show notes. So
yeah, I'll put his website up there, some iTunes stuff.
Yeah, so just go into show notes, check him out, give him a listen, and if you like it, support him, because he is a patron and a law-abiding biker, and as you mentioned earlier, we all are trying to support each other. Yep,
awesome. Well said. Main topic today is going to be all about the recent $12 million lawsuit on Screamin Eagle Super Tuner certs. A lot of people were running for years, and then there's a lot of rumors out there that on the new Milwaukee-Eight motor, the new 107 and 114, that Harley is going to void warranties if you change the pipes and or take the cats out or mess with intakes and all that kind of stuff. I have used my sources, and you guys know I have some great sources to get to the bottom of it. It took me some time. Don't forget, we've already put out on our YouTube channel the reviews of the new Harley 107. We already did a podcast about it. Do you remember what episode number that was, Lurch?
I don't off the top of my head, but it's just recently.
I'm going to look it up and see if I can pin it for
Hey, you know what? Why don't you use the search bar?
I just did.
Go to our website and go to the top right-hand corner, hit the search bar, and you'll find out.
Very nice.
It is LAB-125, so episode 121.
It was all about the Milwaukee-Eight motor, Harley-Davidson, gem or junk, a complete review and guide. That video I did, the review videos, I did a 2-part. I did a moto vlog on it, and I did an overview of the bike.
Right.
Those video, just one of them has over 70,000 views now, and it's only been out for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're kind of a big deal.
I'm not a big deal. It's trust me, it's these guys out there supporting me. And I put a lot of work into those videos, an ass load of work into those videos to make them different, I hope, than everybody else's, because I know what bikers want to know, and I think we know, which is why the platform is very popular, is we know how to break it down and tell bikers no bullshit what they need to know without all the fluff. Like, what does it really matter? It's not some fancy, like Harley's commercials. It's like, oh, that's great. You didn't tell me shit about it. That's great that you have some preppy guy. You know what I mean? They have the preppy business guy riding a bike, answering a call from his wife on the boombox. Harley has a problem relating. Although they sell a lot of bikes, they have a problem relating with bikers. I think our videos help guys realize again, without all the fluff. So
they're always
makes sense.
because they're always trying to sell their brand, which is more than just motorcycles. They're trying to sell their t-shirts and their hats and all the other crap, the service. So we just boil it down and tell you what you need to know about the bike.
Exactly. That's going to be our main topics. We're going to get into it. I always want to announce we're always popping videos on our YouTube channel, like 5 million views on our YouTube channel now, a little over 30,000 subscribers, I believe, or close to 30,000. I guess I'm not sure. Thanks, guys, for that. New free video we released some time ago was very popular. It's a remove and replace a final belt drive on a Harley-Davidson, a DIY complete guide and instructions. That video was a long time coming, wasn't it, Lurch?
Yes, it was.
You know how many guys that is going to help
a lot
out there? I mean, removing an entire and save money, dude. And we put that one out for free. 95% of our content is for free. We sell a few videos for obvious reasons, but that one we actually popped out for free, and it's getting a ton of positive comments and reviews.
That's a pretty in-depth video. We definitely could have put it as one of our for sale videos, but we like to keep that percentage in check.
Yes.
And so we put it out for free.
We did. It's out there for you guys. And again, that was one definitely we could have sold, but we're trying to, like Lurch says, keep it in check and all that. But it's out there for you guys. So check it out. And if you want to head over to lawabidingbiker.com, like Lurch says, use the upper right-hand search bar, search for Harley Final Belt Drive, and you can find that video. Will also be in the show notes. Let's thank, of course. Oh, that's not what I wanted there, Lurch.
Jeez.
We
need a sound guy.
We do need we do need a sound guy. We need a lot of stuff, dude. We're still running on
It looks like you're flying the Starship Enterprise over there.
I know. Look at this, dude. You got cameras and gear. And anyways, why don't you thank these guys? Of course, we've talked a lot about patrons. We like to thank them personally, run through them.
We'd like to thank the following patrons: Gary Simpson of Hiram, Utah, Barrett Hensley of Midland, Texas, and Kenneth Allen of Spring, Texas. A couple of Texas boys there. Thank you very much to all of you.
You love it, guys. Love Texas. We're going to ride down there eventually. One of our trips, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. They took action. They got involved. They just did it. And they're pledging a certain amount per piece of content. No risk. They can put a monthly cap on it so they don't go over their budget. Helps us big time to move this platform forward, to know where we're going and what services we can provide for you. It helps us put
a little bit of fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank and keep this bitch running on down the road.
That is right. Phrase coined by Lurch, and it is absolutely a legitimate phrase because that's exactly what it does. Let's jump right into a voicemail and we'll get into our main topic here. This was a voicemail left for us.
Hello, Ryan. This is Alan. Appreciate the reply on the pipes, and as always, I do enjoy the videos. You guys do a lot of great work for us. Keep them going. And what I'm running is a street tune, Screamin Eagle Street Tuner. That's what I have on mine. Appreciate it, brother, and we'll catch you later.
Okay. That's funny. I'm seeing some of the chat in the live experience. I love how interactive. We have a ton of people in chat and viewers right now. Somebody said, can you guys do a weekly podcast? There are too many hours in the day at work. A lot of guys listen to us at work. I listen to podcasts at work sometimes driving around. We would love to do it weekly. We would love to be doing this full time. We all us here at Law Abiding Biker Media all work full-time jobs, and then we work a second full-time job. This every day off, I'm working 14 to 16-hour days for like 3 years now. All the patrons know that. We would love to. And by all the support, and again, the patrons and the people purchasing our videos, our for sale videos over at lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos, those of you that are buying products in the Law Abiding Biker store, which Big Daddy Kane here, we're trying to add products to the store. All that stuff could take us to that level to where we could provide even more content. Again, that's a pipe dream, but it all depends on how involved the community gets and how much people want to financially support us, because there's no way off what we're getting now we can support the services, and we are building, but that's going to be a long time. So the more support we can get answers that question, but we would love to provide that to you. I absolutely would be a dream of mine to provide you at least several podcasts a week. If not, we got to a point daily. And I agree. Listening to them at work makes the day go by faster. So, all right. Awesome.
We average about every 10 days we pump out a podcast.
Right. Yep. And we're putting out that, and then we're putting out 4 videos a month. Right. We actually put out way more content than we actually charge the patrons for. We try to keep it at about 4 or 5 a month, and then I just put out a ton of free stuff that's just completely free, just because we have so much content that we're getting out there on your YouTube channel. So it's just the way we are. I understand we could charge more and do that stuff, but we also understand and we want to keep it real around here, I think, which is why many of you out there trust us, that we're not trying to take people for a loop or anything. We're the real deal and just trying to help bikers around the world. And we love just meeting you guys, and look at us. We love chatting in here. This is why we do it on a Sunday night away from our families to be with you guys. So, and gals that are in the chat room. All right. So that was a note from Alan Eves of Tennessee. What he was referring to is your muffler packing removal video.
Oh yeah.
And we were going back and forth, and he wanted to know, does he need to remap his EFI after remove muffler packing? Do you want to answer that? And the video we're talking about is free on YouTube. We removed the packing from your Vance and Hines OS 450 Titan slip-ons.
Yes.
We removed the packing to get more sound out of them, and you can do that, and you can check the video out. We'll show you how to do that. And then he's like, Minnie, we get this question a lot, but we want to answer it. And do you need to remap EFI, electronic fuel injection?
Here's what I did. I did not remap per se, because I already mapped them for the headers and those pipes. And on those OS 450 slip-ons, when we took the baffling off, all we did was remove baffling packaging material around the baffle itself. So we didn't cut out the baffle or pull it out. The baffle is still in there. What we removed was the packing, the fiberglass or Kevlar, whatever the heck that stuff's made out of, that wraps around the outside of the baffle to remove some of the echo or quiet it down a little bit. So I did not remap because I already had it mapped for it, but I did run an auto tune. And I don't know that it necessarily did a whole lot, but I figured, what the heck, why not? So I would say...
So you did remap it a little bit.
I guess.
If you're running an auto tune session on your fuel
Sure,
pack
I guess
3,
you are. You're tweaking the map that's already on there.
Right. And so that's what you did.
Yeah, we do say that anytime you make a change in your intake or exhaust, you should remap. I had already remapped it for my intake, my headers, my exhaust. The only change then was removing the baffling. So I ran an auto tune session on the FP3 just to see if I could tweak it at all to make it better.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. No, good. And so, yeah, Lurch is right. We strongly promote, we have videos for the, Fuel Pack 3. That's a free one on our YouTube channel, Vance and Hines. We have Power Vision. It's one of our 4 purchase videos from DynoJet. Power Commanders 5. You, again, just go over to the website and search for that stuff, guys. Some of them are premium videos. Some of them are free. But, once you have that one of those on, just remap it. And it's good because you can do that with a lot of them. You can just run another auto tune session like the Power Commander 5. It's just can maps unless you have the auto tuner added to it. But we won't get into that. That's not what the episode's about. But yes, remap, run an auto tune session on whatever EFI tuner. You wouldn't want to just leave it. You would definitely want to remap and for optimal performance, right?
Right.
All right, guys. So there you go. That answers that question. We did that already. Okay. So got the voicemail. So let's talk about, let's run right into this, and we're going to get into our main topic, and that is the whole debacle of Harley-Davidson. You read up on this a little bit, Lurch. A lot of you out there Number one, we're going to talk about the lawsuit of Screamin Eagle and Harley-Davidson and all that. And then we're going to roll right into the rumor out there. It may be a rumor, it may not. I did the research for you. I talked to some sources about whether we're all hesitant to buy the new 107. I can't because I can't afford it right now, but the new 107 Milwaukee-Eight motor. And because a lot of people, a lot of blogs online, a lot of people talking about stuff they have no idea about as usual online, right? It's got to be true. It's online, right?
Well, if it's written down, it must be true.
It's got to be on Harley-Davidson forums. Half that stuff is not true, guys. And that's fine if you're involved with Harley-Davidson forums, but you don't know who you're talking to. And all we've said it in the past. That's why our private patron-only Facebook group there's faces behind who's giving you information. So be careful about what you read about this. I did the research for you. Lurch did a little research, but there was a recent Harley-Davidson Incorporated, hog.n, did agree to pay $12 million in a civil fine and stop selling illegal aftermarket devices that cause its motorcycles to emit too much pollution. The U.S. Justice Department said recently, guys, this happened. This was back in August, so we're just catching up to it now that a lot of the information has came out. So the EPA is involved in this, Environmental Protection Agency, right? There's some funny comments at the bottom of this that I'll read in a second of this particular article. The settlement resolves government allegations that Harley sold roughly 340,000 super tuners. You'll hear them referred to as CERTs, guys, S-E-R-T, that's Screamin Eagle Race Tuner. Enabling motorcycles since 2008 to pollute the air at levels greater than the Milwaukee-based company certified to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Harley did not admit liability in this, guys, and said in a statement it disagrees with the government's position, arguing that the devices were designed and sold to be used in competition only, which is funny. Let's talk about that. Now, I love Harley, okay? But that is a bullshit attorney statement right there.
And there's
I don't like the EPA either, but Come on. They knew that 340,000 units were not being used in competition only.
And there's a lot of other companies that sell aftermarket exhausts that market them as off-road or racing exhaust as well. But you know damn good and well everybody's using them on the street.
Right.
I think the issue here in particular is it's Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and they're selling a Harley-Davidson tuner, which is in the EPA's mind, I'm reading into this, is they're putting out this product to then circumvent what they originally intended.
Gotcha. Good.
So I think that's why Harley's kind of on the hook here, whereas other companies are making a product that can be used on a Harley to maybe change the standards, right? But the problem here in particular is it's Harley making the bike and Harley making the tuner that then can go on and change the values. I get it. That's a good insight that I had not thought of. I think they're going after Harley too because they're the big dog. That could be. And they're setting a freaking standard like all you other motorcycle companies, watch this. Don't follow their steps. And I bring that up because Eric Freund in the chat room was asking why is it not all right for Harley's tuner and these other companies like the FP3 can make it and it's all right. Correct. So I think that's why they're going after Harley in particular, because there's a Harley bike and then you got this product, the tuner, that you can put on and then change the standards. Right. Good call. That's good. We hadn't talked about that. And I think too that it is because Harley is the biggest. We love Indians. We love Victories. We love metric bikes. We support anything on two wheels, guys. You're part of the community if you ride on a motorcycle, okay? Trikes too, whatever. But I will tell you that Harley is still the number one selling motorcycle in the United States. It just is. It has been for a god-awful number of years. The Street Glide specifically is the best-selling motorcycle in the U.S. going on like 20 years or something. And they're the big dog. And so I think that a lot of that is the EPA saying, okay, we can't do all the companies right now, but we're going to go after the big dog because everybody else follows the big dog. And they're sending a message to Victory and Indy and everybody else like, oh shit, look what happened to Harley. That could happen to us. So we better reel our shit in real quick. Does that seem fair? That's a complete guess. Like that's out of my arse, straight out of my arse. Pulled it right out of your butt. Does it sound reasonable? Reasonable enough. Okay.
There you go. That's fact. So you heard it here, and I'm going to write it on the internet so it's fact.
If it's written on the internet, it must be true.
It's got to be true. But Lurch brings up a very good point, too, that it was basically a Harley product that was trying to circumvent what they were already supposed to be in compliance with their production bikes. Okay. So the company said the settlement represents a good faith compromise with the EPA on areas of law we interpret differently, particular EPA's assertion that it is illegal for anyone to modify a certified vehicle, even if it will be used solely for off-road closed course competition. So their differing opinions are that the EPA says, well, the EPA is under the impression that even if it's used for off-road, you can't circumvent it, where they believe you can circumvent it, but we're not using our Harleys off-road again. I defer to my previous comment, but good one, Harley. I mean, you gotta go for that. According to the government, the sale of such defeat devices, they call them defeat devices, it violates federal Clean Air Act. Harley was also accused of selling more than 12,600 motorcycles that were not covered by an EPA certification governing clean air compliance. The settlement calls for Harley to stop selling all the Super Tuners by August 23rd, 2016. You guys have probably heard some of this, and buy back and destroy all such tuners in stock at its dealership. EPA said the modified settings increase power and performance, but also increase the motorcycle's emissions of hydrocarbons and nitrogen oxides. All right. Harley must also deny warranty claims. This is kind of a segue into what we're going to talk about in a second, where some of these rumors came from. Harley must also deny warranty claims if owners continue to use the devices. And EPA, the devices, which to me means CERT, the devices.
Right.
CERT, just CERT, Screamin Eagle Race Tuner. An EPA spokesman said the company's dealers are not part of this action, so the dealerships aren't. But if, quote, if they are tampering or selling defeat devices on their own, then they could be investigated independently in the future. So let's think of that when we segue.
Who's got the time for that?
I know.
They can go after the mother company, but does the EPA have enough resources to go out and investigate every individual shop?
Right. Correct. But listen to this, Matt. I think you caught on to it. It says the company's dealers are not part of this action.
Right.
But listen to it close. If they are tampering or selling defeat devices on their own, that's different than somebody bringing in a bike that did it themselves.
Right.
It's just a key point.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what they're saying is we don't want dealerships selling these things and installing them for customers. Make sense? To me, that's what that says.
I agree.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I was reading into that correctly.
And some of our inside information will add credibility to that thought.
Yes, correct. And you're right. Then they could be investigated independently. And you said, you're right. The EPA is not going to go down awful number of motorcycle dealerships and check and records to see if they're selling defeat devices. They're not going to be selling certs. I'll guarantee you that. All the dealerships pulled those right away because that's part of the $12 million lawsuit. So they pulled certs right away, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be installing Power Commander 5s and Power Visions and things like that. We'll get into that a little bit further. So given Harley-Davidson's prominence in the industry, this is a very significant step towards our goal of stopping the sale of illegal aftermarket defeat devices, i.e., I'll tell you, EFI tuners that cause harmful pollution on our roads and in our communities. John Cruden, head of the Justice Department's Environmental and Natural Resources Division, said in a statement. The announcement comes amid greater scrutiny on emissions and defeat devices by U.S. regulators after Volkswagen admitted to using illegal software to evade U.S. emission standards in nearly 600,000 U.S. vehicles. Thanks, Volkswagen.
They started this shit.
Thanks, Volkswagen, for fucking us all.
Farfignugan screwed it up, didn't they? Damn.
Dude, always somebody. Got to push it. Got to push the issue. All right. So this settlement immediately stops the sale of illegal aftermarket defeat devices used on public roads that threaten the air we breathe, said Cynthia Giles.
Suck it, Cynthia. Jeez.
Dude, straight up one for Lurch.
I bet you Cynthia rides a broomstick and she's ugly as the day is long.
Oh, you know. Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, you can just picture Cynthia right now. Dude, does that make us have to pull her up now? What's her name? You already forgot it, dude.
No.
Cynthia Giles. Let's see.
You think you're going to find her?
Cynthia
You're gonna find her
Giles,
Facebook or something?
EPA picture. Let's see if we can find it, dude.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
There, Matt was right, dude. Dude, oh my God. You would gnaw your arm off just
That
to get
is
out of
one
bed.
ugly
dude.
man.
You'd wake up and just gnaw your arm off to get out of bed, dude, if she was laying on it, dude. Oh, what did I do?
You know what?
That was way too much whiskey.
Forgive me. That was so unchristian-like of me. And
It was.
Cynthia, I'd like to apologize from the bottom of my heart for speaking poorly of you.
Here's some even better pictures of her, Matt. She's getting, oh God. So anyways,
Yeah, there's probably one guy out there that thinks she's hot.
oh yeah, dude, straight up, dude. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, we're not making fun. We are making fun of Cynthia. Never mind. Completely making fun of Cynthia, but we don't even know her. Whatever. Harley must obtain a certification from the California Air Resource Board for any tuners it sells in the United States in the future. For any super tuners that Harley-Davidson sells outside the U.S. in the future, it must be labeled them as not for use in the U.S. It basically, Harley did sell this for over 20 years, guys, under an accepted regulatory approach that permitted the sale of competition-only parts, said it believed was legal to use in race conditions in the United States. Again, I get it. I'm defending Harley in this. I'm not.
Look at the first comment.
I know, dude. That's what I was going to get to. Go ahead and read them. Hang on. This is on the article. So here's the three comments that are on this particular article.
So at the bottom of this article, they have a spot where the
like on our
readers
website
can comment. Yeah. So the first comment is "fuck the EPA," and the second one is "motorcycles are so detuned for emissions as it is. Fuck the EPA." And the third one says 12 million is pocket change spent to eliminate the competition.
Yep. Oh, I love it. Funny comments there. I had to read those last night. I was like, that's freaking funny, dude. They actually stole this article from Reuters. So here's the source. It was actually an article in Reuters that came out, and somehow they just stole it and linked to it. But whatever. I won't actually repeat the article, but I'll just put the link in the show notes for you guys if you want to read about this race tuner. So there you go. That's how this all started. Let's look at some of the comments. So if you have it, will Harley remove the upgrade you already have? Yeah, Harley's going to remove the Super Tuner and put a stock download for you. That's what Harley's going to do. You can't run the race tuners. They're going to do their stock downloads, the way I understand that.
Okay.
Makes sense?
If you take your bike into a dealership.
Correct. Or if the dealership gives a shit
Right.
that you have a race tuner still. It's some of this we're going to talk about in a minute. There's a few things up in the air. You're going to have to talk to your particular dealership. Okay. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on what you need to be doing. So I hope this episode is very valuable because I spent a lot of time. I didn't jump on this issue in August. I've been researching it. I've been letting the Milwaukee-Eight come out. I've been waiting and gathering and compiling to give you guys the best information that I can to guide you on how you need to go about it and what you need to say and talk about with your particular dealership so you can make sure and not get screwed too much and not get burned with warranties and things like that. So
there's a question in here, and let me ask you, you might have some input on this since you talked to some of our local mechanics here. Is it just the street race tuner, the SRT, or is it any of them?
No, it's any of them.
Is it any of Harley's tuners?
Correct.
Okay.
They can't use aftermarket defeat devices anymore at all. That's where that came to that. They're going to void the warranty on 107, the Milwaukee-Eight, if you do pipes and intake and tuners.
That's where the rumor
Harley is
started.
out of the tuner business. Harley's officially out of the tuner business as far as defeat devices. I think they can still. I think that's up in the air.
If they can remap, because that's basically doing the same thing.
It is, but it's not because it's not. There's an acceptable level.
They're within the
of
tolerance.
tuning. Correct.
Okay.
They're going to have to make those maps within the EPA's. This stuff, a lot of it is still being worked out because it is very unclear on the EPA's direction, but there will not be strapping any tuners on your bike, external tuners at best. And I think talking my sources is they still don't even know if they're going to be able to do canned maps. Those are probably going to, I'm guessing they're either going to have to be in tolerances or they're going to go away. And if they're in those tolerances, they're not going to do much anyways. So you're going to have to go outside of Harley Market and go to our video, the Fuel Pack 3, Vance and Hines. Go to our store. We sell Fuel Pack 3s, guys. The Fuel Pack 3, we sell them in our store. We will give you awesome deal, guys. We're selling them just over cost because we want to get them out to people. lawabidingbiker.com/store. We have them over there for you. Big Daddy will ship them out. We've got them in stock. It's our favorite tuner. That would be what I would go to, guys, is the Vance and Hines Fuel Pack 3 and get away from you're going to have to get away from the cert and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I think guys are going to have to do. I think my belief talking to people is the can maps are going to be gone. They're not going to be able to do that kind of stuff. Again, if you put pipes on though, and you put different, let's get into, I'm trying to figure out how we can segue this. That's enough about the Super Tuner. Let's, cause we're doing good on time. Let's roll into that then. Let's roll into the exhaust and the change in exhaust. Now, a lot of people will tell you that if you just change mufflers, right, Matt, that you don't need to retune. Technically, your bike's not going to run optimal, but it's not going to be hugely noticeable for most on that, guys. Really, we were tuning, and we want to tune, which is why I'll continue to run the Fuel Pack 3 on my bike, because we want to tune. We want to auto tune. We want to run those maps for optimal performance on our bike. And that's one of the things Harley's going to have to figure out. There is no pipes yet. There's no aftermarket pipes for the Milwaukee-Eight. They haven't
specifically made any for it, but I'm guessing there's lots out that would fit right onto the bike.
They're not, because the way they move stuff. They move the catalytic converters back.
Okay.
One pipe is bigger than the other. There's some very, very specific things about the Milwaukee-Eight, which is why there are no pipes made that will fit it right now.
And it'll take a few months before that they can start coming out. All right.
I think a lot of people are waiting on this kind of stuff. And I know Vance and Hines ears to the wall trying to hear. But that's the thing. So they're waiting, and a lot of people haven't bought the Milwaukee-Eight because there are no pipes and accessories for it. There's no intakes yet. There's nothing. And the Harley's going to have to figure out, are they going to, what are they going to do as far as installing mufflers, and are they going to be able to have a can map that's still within EPA standards so that you can open up the flow of that bike? Or is Harley and Lou right now going, we're not going to be making our own pipes and stuff anymore. That's going to be all aftermarket. Then you have to wonder, well, are they going to even install them? You know what I mean? Even if, let's say it's Vance and Hines pipes. Okay, it's not Harley's pipes, but Harley dealerships wants to order Vance and Hines pipe before you can install them. Is that going to be in their game? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It raises a lot of issues, and you can talk to a lot of different dealerships, and I do know some facts that will help you, but there's still a lot in the area. And I don't have all the answers yet, but I have some good answers on some of the stuff that's fairly definitive. So that's what we're looking at. And so there are no pipes and all that for that, guys. But I do know that's definitive. The Super Tuner, they're not going to be doing add-on defeat devices, so to speak. We will see on the can maps if they're going to be able to do that. We'll see if Harley's going to, because again, they would run into right? I mean, you're talking about defeat devices. Well, that's what mufflers are. They have to do the production pipe. Those are performance. And are they going to be able to get away with saying, well, those are for off-road use? You see what I'm saying? It turns into a big mess.
Yeah, if you're not changing, this is just my thought though, if you're not changing the map and the motor, you're probably not changing the emissions a whole lot if you're swapping out the pipes. I mean, if you take the cat out, no doubt about it.
Right.
The cat's in there to make it run cleaner because it's re-burning fuel and whatnot. As far as just some slip-ons, I don't know what a pair of slip-ons would do to emissions. I'd be interested. I'm not going to comment one way or the other. It may a little bit.
Well, the EPA, them.
I mean, mufflers are to muffle the sound, not necessarily make the bike run cleaner.
Oh, they do, though. They change the whole flow, the whole dynamics of the bike, which is why you have to remap it.
Right, but
because you're using more fuel, you're doing all kinds of stuff.
If you remap.
I know, but I get what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, in and of themselves, mufflers, I don't think affect the emissions on the bike.
A little bit they do.
If you remap it, if you take a cat out, that makes a big difference.
Right.
Mufflers, I don't know if it makes a huge difference.
I'm tracking with you.
It might make some, but I don't know that it makes a whole lot.
Right. I agree.
If you don't mess with everything on the front end, if you don't change the intake, if you don't change the map, if you don't cut out the cats, swapping out the mufflers in and of themselves, I don't think would make a huge difference.
Right. Agreed. I don't think the EPA gives a shit.
No.
It changes it. Mm-hmm. That's all they care about, however little. That's my opinion at this point with what they're doing. to Harley-Davidson. They're on their back. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It's not a huge change, but it'll be interesting.
Well,
we're going to have to play that out.
So if you've got a tuner and an intake and an exhaust and you keep your stock parts and just put it all back on before you take it down to the dealership.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Is that something you can do?
That's good. We're going to get into, let me see if we have another. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's some of the things you need to know, guys. This is the meat and potatoes. And Lurch just posed a good question. I need to wet my whistle because I'm going to talk here.
That was weak. Sorry, I tried to whistle. Apparently, my whistle's not wet. It's a little dry.
You need to wet your whistle. All right, so here's the deal on the Screamin Eagle, the new Milwaukee-Eight 107. I first want to start out by saying I encourage you to talk to your dealership. Okay, go out there and have an open and honest conversation with them. It's going to depend on which dealership you talk to. But the majority of them, I will tell you all of them about what I'm going to say, is that this is not something new, guys. This is blown out of proportion. Okay? It's blown out of proportion by the EPA in this $12 million lawsuit, but this has been going on for many years. That's what I want to lay the foundation, guys. This is nothing new. Okay? That's why Harley was getting away with it. Whether you agree with the EPA or not, Harley was getting away and circumventing a system. They were, straight up. If you believe in the EPA system at all, okay? That's up to you. I'm not going to get into politics. I think the EPA is a joke, personally, whatever. But based on their standards, they were circumventing with the defeat devices. They clearly knew that they were not being used for off-road. In fact, the very bikes that people brought in, they knew were riding on the street. I mean, come on. They're bringing them in. They're servicing the bikes. They're hooking up their laptop to the Screamin Eagle, and I'm riding out, right? Or LD had his Screamin Eagle tune. They know he's not a racer. He's not competition. It's a frickin' stock CVO bike. These were not being used off-road. We know that. So let's just be realistic about it. Regardless of which side of the spectrum you're on with the EPA, let's just be clear that Harley was skirting it, okay? From what the current laws are. Okay?
Right. I agree with that. And that's why I think they had to pay that fine, is because they were creating a device that got around the emissions standards.
Right. What they had to
produce. Themselves, the company themselves, like I said earlier, they made the bike, they made the tuner. It's obviously, like you said, not for race purposes. So they've made what they're calling a defeat device to get around those standards.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Here, we'll make the bikes to your standard, and then as soon as the people buy them, we'll slap this on them and put them back to how they should be.
Right.
And I agree they should be that way. I think the Screamin Eagle cert is fine, so I don't want any no hate mail on that. I'm not an EPA advocate hugely. All right, so that's nothing new, and the EPA has told them that for years. They were supposed to, Harley-Davidson itself, that's nothing new for Harley-Davidson. They were supposed to be voiding warranty thing. They've been supposed to be voiding warranties for years, they were told, technically by the mothership, and they have been.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I bought my first bike, when I had that 06 Y-Glide, they told me that you can't take out the baffles because if you do, you'll void the warranty.
Yep. And that was years ago.
I should say they said they can't do it. Let me be a little more specific.
Thank you. This is what you guys need to listen to, because this is how you get around some of this
stuff. Because it was
my
first bike, so I asked some questions, and I was trying to find a way to save money, and I knew that you could back then take a hole saw and drill out the baffles. So I had asked them about that, and they said, no, we can't do that. That would void the warranty. But they also said if you were to do it, by all means, but as the dealership, we're not allowed to do that.
Right. Good. So there you go. So a lot of the stuff's going to have to be, which makes done on your own, which makes Law Abiding Biker YouTube channel and our very few for purchase videos even more valuable, because that's how you're going to do a lot of this stuff, is on your own, because Harley's not going to be able to do it. Okay. They're going to be hesitant to do a lot of this stuff. Dealerships. Here's the thing about dealerships, guys, is there are some asshole dealerships out there. Let me just tell you that. They're far and few between. If you have an asshole dealership, do not give them your business. Ride to the next town and give them your business. There are some dealerships that this has been going on for years. There are dealerships over the last years that have been already voiding warranties. They were under that orders already from the mothership, Harley-Davidson headquarters, which has to put this stuff out to their dealerships. Now, each dealership can kind of do what they want. They give them a lot of flexibility. They can't control all that, but they were already under that direction. And there are asshole dealerships that were already voiding guys' warranties for bringing their bikes in and having changed their pipes and or taken the catalytic converters out. Now, we know you can buy Vance and Hines pipes and they don't have catalytic converters. So what's the difference whether you take your catalytic converters out or whether you buy new pipes without catalytic converters? It's the same damn thing. Just like the dealerships in the past could actually, and I talked to a lot of sources, guys, they could install Vance and Hines pipes in their dealership without catalytic converters, but they could not take the catalytic converters themselves out of the stock head pipes and weld them back up because it's $10,000 a head fine if they get caught. It's the stupid EPA rules. There you go is one of them. So you can buy Vance and Hines pipes without catalytic converters, but don't save money and crack the pipes and take the cats out. See what I mean? And this is the direction that they were under. It was huge fines for removing the cats, but then
you're taking
and not just Vance and Hines, Reinhardt and everybody.
Right. But then again, to put it in perspective, that's a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. That's Harley-Davidson heads. That's a Harley-Davidson dealer cutting open the pipes and cutting out the cats and putting it back together. Therefore, they're
Good
defeating.
point.
Therefore, they are defeating.
But they're defeating it by buying aftermarket headers opened up too. Aren't they defeating it that way? If they say, hey, customer, just buy Vance and Hines.
But they're not using their own product.
I know. I get what you're saying. I'm being devil's advocate. Yeah.
And maybe they can argue that, I don't know if this is being used on road or off road.
Maybe the EPA figured, well, if they don't everybody will have them take the cats out because that's cheap. But if they have to buy $1,400 pipes and headers, then maybe less people will violate that.
My Dodge truck has new exhaust, has no catalytic converters on it whatsoever, and I did not void my warranty.
Right.
I've had warranty work done on it.
Right. It makes no sense. But here's the deal. So with Harley-Davidson, I had another point too. I can't think of it, but so it's going to be dependent on your dealership. A lot of this stuff is going to have to done in your garage, dude. Guys, I should say, dude. Guys, it should have to be
dude and dudettes.
Yeah, dude and dudettes. It'll have to be done in your garage on your own. We've got the YouTube channel for it. We are a Vance and Hines dealer, guys. Now, lawabidingbiker.com/store. Help support us. We're as cheap as anybody else online, and we'll get it to you guys. And cheaper than a lot of places. Big Daddy Kane, trust me, he's got that store dialed in, and he wants to sell that stuff to you guys. Our lifts, our Titan lifts, all that. But Vance and Hines dealer, guys, the Fuel Pack 3s, all that. So back to my point, many dealerships have been voiding warranties. Some dealerships, asshole dealerships, have been voiding warranties already for this kind of thing, for taking cats out. If they find out, they've been voiding warranties. If they find out you did aftermarket exhaust, they've been doing that. Especially a lot of those dealerships haven't been doing aftermarket exhaust because of this. There's only some dealerships that are doing it. So find out quickly if you are visiting one of those dealerships in your town and they're assholes about it. Don't visit them anymore. You'll find out real quick by talking to your service writer at your Harley-Davidson dealership. Just ask them those questions, guys, that we're talking about right here. I'm going to do copious show notes. You can refer to this episode too. If you want, those dealerships are the only ones that are going to be checking, and your service writer is going to tell you, just tell them, say, hey, I want to buy a new Milwaukee-Eight. As soon as I take it out of here, I'm going to put new pipes on it. I'm going to buy Vance and Hines pipes from Law Abiding Biker Store. I'm going to buy a Fuel Pack 3 from the Law Abiding Biker Store. And I'm going to buy an intake, Vance and Hines intakes from Law Abiding Biker Store. I'm going to put them all on, and then something goes bad on my bike, like the transmission or something. Are you going to void my warranty because of that? Or my motor goes bad. Are you going to void my warranty? That service writer is going to tell you really quick. You'll find out what that dealership is all about. He's going to say, no, absolutely not. And again, we've been doing it for years, and our dealership is fine. Our dealership is like, no, we don't void warranties for that. We were supposed to be doing that a long time ago, and we're not going to do that. Pipes and an intake doesn't change if a motor goes bad or a cam goes bad. You know, they're pretty realistic about it. And each dealership has a lot of power that way. I'm not sure why some dealerships do that, other than it's a feather in their cap, and they get probably credit from the HD mothership for voiding warranties. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think.
Maybe.
There are, though, because we've heard of this in emails, right? The Harley dealership told me this. Oh, I would not go to that Harley dealership again. There are enough Harley dealerships that you can drive to another one, give the ones that support you, your business. So that's my take on it, guys. And from what I found out is it's status quo at this point. Do the same stuff to your bike. The same dealerships that were good dealerships before are continue to do business as they did. If you put on a fuel pack 3, if you put on your own pipes, if you put on your own intake, they're going to continue to recognize your warranty should something go bad. The dealerships that are assholes, like I said, they're the ones that you're going to have a problem with. All dealerships, so you know, and take caution, are under this direction and have been under this direction for a long time. So technically, at the end of the day, if they wanted to change their mind, you are still out. You are the customer. The other option is not to buy a warranty, right? Then you don't have to worry about it. Do whatever the hell you want to your bike, and you don't need the warranty. Harleys are built so well. I know that's a risk. Should a catastrophic thing happen, like a transmission, something like that, and they're say, well, you got pipes. We can't honor your warranty, stuff like that. So the jury's out on whether they're going to do, whether Harley's going to be able to create their own pipes. I know Vance and Hines is going to continue. They're working on it right now because we sell the stuff in our store, and we've already know in late October that the new Vance and Hines stuff for the Milwaukee-Eight's coming out. So I know aftermarket companies might just really like this because they're like, oh, awesome. Harley's going to wipe their hands clean of this kind of stuff, and
we've said it
take
before,
the market.
What other car company, or other than motorcycles, other than Harley in particular, what other manufacturer sells you a bike and then sells you a shitload of new things to put on it?
Right, exactly. And you gladly pay for it.
Yeah, you don't go down to your Chevy or Ford dealership and buy all Ford parts to dress up your Ford.
Right.
It's because it's so expensive. You don't go there. It's retarded. For some reason,
you don't go buy a brand new Beamer and go, I also want $1,000 exhaust on it.
Yeah.
I want a new intake on it,
from
an
Beamer.
EFI tuner from BMW, and go, that's what it
buy
needs.
all aftermarket parts.
Right.
So, I mean, Harley's smart.
Or you don't do anything to it. You know what I mean? Like a BMW, you just leave it. It's ready to go as it is.
Listen, if you want to soup it up, you don't buy BMW parts, you buy aftermarket parts. Harley is smart in their business practice in this sense, whereas they sell you a new bike that has crappy grips, crappy foot pegs, and a pretty plain Jane intake, exhaust that's okay, but not really, doesn't sound that great. And the first thing you do is put on new grips, put on new foot pegs, put on new exhaust, put on a new intake, maybe change the bars. They're making, quite a bit of money off of their parts, which
right. It's a huge part of their business.
Yeah. And not a lot of other companies have done that. So good for them, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Do you want to do a couple of these real quick, and then we'll wrap it up with some final thoughts? We appreciate our patrons, of course. We appreciate our patrons. We want our patrons involved. We're close with our patrons. We get to interact with them more, but we never, ever balk at a flat donation.
So thank you to these individuals that have donated. Michael Haas of Rheinbeck, Germany. Shout out to Germany. It's kind of cool to know that we're getting worldwide. Michael Trapani of Milford, Illinois. Chris Cusick of Sharpsville, PA. And he put a comment on there with his donation. It says, have purchased all your videos and watched the free ones too. Love your stuff. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it from one hardworking biker to another. Thank you, gentlemen, for your donations.
Lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Take action now. That's right. You running right now, just stop. You driving, don't text and drive. Pull over. Lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Take action. Support us. All right. We appreciate that so very much. All right, Lurch. So any other questions in the chat room that are raising any issues? Matt, that you've been searching through? I've been really intense on talking.
Yeah, you have. No, just been a lot of talk about warranties and how they suck. And
right. Yeah. And that's a good point. At this day and age, do you need a warranty anymore? I know a lot of guys that buy new bikes without warranty. It depends, because you're paying, $3,500 for a warranty. It's cheaper than that if your transmission goes bad just to buy a new transmission, right? So how catastrophic are failures? I'm not hearing. A lot of people are more concerned with the new Milwaukee-Eight because it's a new motor out, and people are expecting that, or worried that because it's an untested, tried motor in the field, that it's going to have some kind of catastrophic thing and they're going to be screwed. but all the guts are the same. The transmission's the same. Everything's pretty much the same. The motor is not. That's hugely different.
Right.
So I get it. Again, those are good things being brought up in the chat room.
Well, they try and sell you with the warranty, especially in the new bikes with the boom on there. They tell you, boy, if you have to replace that head unit, that's going to be $2,500. There's your money back right there, So yes, if you have a big problem, you can get your money back on your warranty. I've bought 2 with the warranty and 1 without, and I haven't used the warranty on any of the 3 of them. What it came down to me, because I was financing the bike, it was just a few bucks a month to add the warranty, and I could afford it, so I threw it on there, plain and simple. So I think a lot of times with warranty, it comes down to if you can afford it, are you willing to do it? Because, that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah,
what's my monthly payment or what's the bike cost? And if it's within reason to add the warranty, most people do it. If they're within a certain monthly payment or overall amount, from my experience and talking with my buddies that haven't bought a warranty, they've not bought it because it didn't meet the monthly nut, or it was just too much altogether.
Right. So if you're going to think about a warranty, and you're sitting with your dealer and he's like Matt said, and he's telling you if your boom box goes bad, that's $2,500. Do you want a warranty? This is what I would say to him.
I don't care.
And this is how your dealer would reply.
God, you're fucking dumb, dude.
Sorry. I had to, dude. We haven't heard that in a while, dude.
Yeah.
We haven't heard that in a while. But there you go, guys. I hope that information was useful to you. I hope it's clear as mud. Did it seem clear? I guess really wrapping up, all you have to worry about is you're going to have to do a lot of the stuff on your own right now.
That's what I'm getting out of this conversation is Harley's kind of getting out of the tuner game. You're going to have to do it on your own. And we're going to have more information in the following months. So we'll have a follow-up podcast, I would imagine, to this.
We will.
Give some more information.
We'll continue to follow up on it, guys. Do the stuff yourself. But before you do any of it, find out which dealership you're going to go to should you have a warranty problem. Just tell them what you're going to do. Like I said, I want to buy the Milwaukee-Eight. I'm going to do this, and this to it. Are you going to avoid my warranty? If they say yes, walk out and find another dealership that will say yes. And then should you have a catastrophic failure, go to that dealership, because any of the dealerships will service your warranty regardless of where you bought it.
That's true.
So that would be my best advice for you too right now. And my biggest piece of advice and takeaway is you'll need to continue and make sure you're subscribed to the Law Abiding Biker YouTube channel, our website, our email list, all that stuff, because it's going to become more crucial that all our free videos, and because you're going to have to do this stuff on your own. You want to do it on your own anyways. You want to have the satisfaction of wrenching on your own bike anyways. You want to save money, and you can save yourself so much money by getting hooked up with the community. The community is stellar. Isn't this YouTube live stuff awesome?
Yeah, it's working really well. We've tried several other platforms, and they've been clunky and kind of hard to deal with. This has been great. I've had this live chat going the whole time, and it's feeding good and working well.
Yep. And if you guys want to know, if you're on a mobile device and you're wondering, well, I'm listening or I was watching live and I can't figure out how to chat, the thing you need to do is hold your phone up in portrait mode. So straight up, right? Landscape mode is sideways. You want to just hold it up like you're normally using your phone. At the very bottom of the screen will be a little red bar when you're watching us live that says chat. You push on that red bar, then it expands the screen into the chat box. And from there, that's how you can chat with us if you're watching on mobile. If you're watching on desktop or laptop, it's super easy because you're watching the video and right next to it is the chat box or below it, depending on what you're viewing on. But that's how you view on mobile. And it is live, and it's live chat, and we're chatting right back. And we tried to be as involved as we could in there. We appreciate all the participation, guys. Don't forget, guys, don't ride without the slide. Bikeaholics Bug Slide, absolutely the best waterless motorcycle cleaner on the market. Convinced of that. Bug Slide, tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. It is our #1 go-to waterless motorcycle cleaner. It cleans, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat, oh yeah, and more. Never need to wax again, Lurch. That's right, because Lurch, the release agent in Bug Slide, contains a UV filter for added protection. Free of abrasives, Lurch. Safe on all non-porous surfaces. Yes, even safe on your Harley denim paint, because we get that question a lot, guys. We believe in it so much, we carry it in stock right now in the Law Abiding Biker store, lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane has it ready to ship direct to you right this very moment, guys. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate it. We hope you're well. We hope you're out there getting some riding in. Catch you on the next one.